I have over 200 bleed kits out, and I've now evolved it so you actually get a cabinet which can be locked, and then it makes the kit 24 hours accessible to the public.
Hi everyone, I am Char Lawrence, CEO of Full Circle Docklands. You are watching the Forward Focus podcast. Today I am joined with Leanne Reynolds, founder of Bin the Blade. Hi Leanne.
Hello, hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
So can you tell us what you do for your organisation Bin the Blade?
So I launched knife bins in the community alongside the police with their support. And I launched in 2021, I started campaigning to bring bleed kits to our city and the Southwest.
So what inspired you to start your Bin the Blade Foundation?
I worked in education in a supporting role with young men and women that were not in mainstream school, and two of them was murdered in the city. And then there was some community meetings that I attended and noticed that like the crime commissioner and the council were present. Initially, I asked for knife bins to come into communities so that we didn't have to have children going into police stations, because the whole idea is for them not to go to police stations, so I didn't feel they would hand their weapons in. And then it just evolved, because obviously the youths were saying we're not going to hand it in, we need it for protection, or the opposition got them. So I then went around the UK and I found the Daniel Bard Foundation, which was set up by a mum who lost her son through knife crime, and she brought out the first public accessible bleed kit. So then I come to Bristol and launched them with the help of the NHS.
How many bleed kits have you successfully placed around the city so far?
I have over 200 bleed kits out, and I've now evolved it so you actually get a cabinet which can be locked, and then it makes the kit 24 hours accessible to the public.
Amazing. I think the work you're doing is really important and it will help to save lives. I understand, as well as bleed kits, you provide training on how to use the bleed kits.
I arrange training with the manufacturers, and I do awareness days, I do fundraisers, I get out as much as I can across the city and further afield into Southwest so that people can see the contents. You don't need training on it, but I feel that it's something, it would be beneficial if you see what's in this kit, instead of hopefully, if you do it, hopefully I don't want you to use it, but if you have to, you are familiar with what's in a kit and how each item can be applied to a person who needs it. It's for catastrophic bleed, so it's not focused on any kind of knife crime. It's preventative for any catastrophic bleed, so it can be used in an accident or in any form of incident or road traffic accident.
So would the items in the bleed kit be usable if someone was, say for instance, shot?
Yeah, they work with shootings. This year, the beginning of this year, in our city, a young man had an accident, a freak accident, and the kit was used and it saved his leg, and it potentially saved his life because he was waiting over an hour for an ambulance and he was bleeding out. So the kit was used successfully to save this young man.
Being an individual working in communities that support families and young people, how have you found navigating through all the politics?
It's difficult. I've been to many meetings and on panels, and I generally use the phrase, there's no partnership working, but there is partnership working, but it's so political that it's really frustrating, because I see people getting money and I don't actually see what's happening with it. And then I do see other organisations that could do something with the money, and they're not getting it. So I have partnershiped with Tyrell from Be Excellence, and that's been going on now for over 6 months. And we do workshops together. I'm community focused, so I've never had no funding except for the NHS funded 150 kits. I'm community funded and charity. So I rely on that a lot, but it's expanding. So hopefully I'm looking like for admin and to help with social media, because it's just gone from me starting as a community member. Now I have a CIC, and I didn't ever dream that I'd be in this position.
You said you're self-funded and you get charitable offers and donations, which helps to keep your work going. why have none of the official bodies across the city supported your initiative?
So the NHS supported me, so they gave me funding, and that was for the first 150 kits. It's a bit hit and miss, and what I'm finding is then you have different kit that come out alongside the police, so they brought their own kit out with different contents. But I just keep going. It's something that I'm a very loyal person, and I started with something and I'll just continue with it. It's been a lot of voluntary, but it's a passion. Yeah, we all need money, we all need to put food on our table, but it's a passion. If I can see a change or it saves one person, that means more to me than being government funded. And then also it comes with a lot of other responsibility where I'm controlled and I'm told what to do. I have a job, which is lucky, but I did leave my main job to continue this through the support and the demand of the communities. I just feel privileged, I think, where I can go across the whole city and work with all different range of cultures and all different people, and I don't have no one telling me I've got to do this and do that. So eventually funding will come, but I think you just have to take it step by step and be very choosy on who you're going to work with, because it's not always what it makes out to be.
Very true. And you mentioned that the police brought out similar bleed kits after you launched yours. Wouldn't it have made more sense for the police to support your initiative?
Yeah, there's been some issues along the way. So obviously my cabinets are locked, and I had to work with South West Ambulance because we have to get them on a circuit so that you can make a call, and so you can make the call and actually get the code to get into the box. The police were reactive, I feel, to something, so they just put out kits. They're unlocked, these boxes, they're being put up. There's no training been provided up to date, but obviously that will change, no doubt. So I just went along with it. So I do work beside them, but it's very different. Whereas I also train and I do awareness. It's a lot of my own time, but it's beneficial. And I think it was something that needed to be done, because I feel we hit crisis point, especially with serious violence. And I felt that we needed to do something. I've got a CIC, which has took 3 years. So I feel I'm proactive instead of reactive.
And I can say your training is absolutely brilliant. We had some of the bleed kit training at Docklands and it was amazing. And I didn't realise how much I didn't know until I did the training. So I do appreciate it. The whole team and members of the community attended and it was brilliant. So if other organisations or people wanted to get training from you, how do they get in touch?
So I'm on social media, Instagram and Facebook. I also have email, which is bintheblade2021@gmail.com, and you can contact me. So I also do workshops in education and youth provisions with Tyrell from Be Excellence, and then I do training for professionals, and I can do them for the general public, but it depends on, I need to find out about people and your background, because if you've experienced or there's any kind of trauma, I wouldn't suggest this training is undertaken within 18 months.
Yeah, it's very graphic, I can say that.
And also when you've got young people that have experienced trauma or they've had death within their community on young people, there has to be some kind of ongoing support. I can come in and deliver the training and we can do that, and a team from the manufacturers, which are all like medical professionals. But how are we going to support that individual going forward? Because you can't just let them have the training and then go away, because it can re-traumatise. And that is my worry. Is okay getting up, everyone wants to be a trainer or let's train, but you have to look at the welfare and the interest of that individual that's attending.
Yeah. And this is why you do this job, because very thoughtful young lady. Okay, what do you think is the biggest challenge facing our communities across the city today?
I just think that the partnership, I really struggle with it. And the collaboration, like you might go somewhere and then it's like, can you work with this one, that one? And not everyone can work together. And we've all got the same aim at the end of the day. We're different provisions, but we know what works and what don't. So one child might like boxing and one might like going to listen to music. So you can collaborate and bring the two together. Yeah. And also the main aim is to get them away from, they don't wake up and just purchase a knife. There's a lead up to it. So I think we all need to be aware of certain exploitations that is going on. And what I found over the years is things are happening, it's not reported, but as soon as there's been a major incident or there's been a death, everyone will start talking, and it's a bit too little too late. And it's building trust, because not everyone wants to run to the authorities. So I like to tell people, find a safe person, which is an individual that don't want nothing from you, but they will be there for you. They might be quite annoying to a young person, but they're safe, and you can tell them and actually empower yourself as an individual to be going on the right path.
What do you think a solution could be to some of the challenges we face? If you had like one thing that you could say, all right, let's start here, where would you start?
Education. I think it's going out and actually going to them, like having it in the community. Like, I think the NHS should come out and engage in the community. I don't think children should be going to police stations, or the police can come out. They have the resources, they have the funding, you can come to us. That's the only way you're going to build that relationship with our communities, because it's all broken down and it's always too little too late. And the authorities will run out and say they're sorry. And to me, sorry is a sorry word. You can say it 10 times, it means nothing, because we're still facing it. I remember when I initially started this and I went to the authorities, we haven't got a problem in Bristol. And I said, okay, we have no problem. There'll be no need for bleed kits. We haven't got a problem. And now if you look, it's a very different picture. And I think it's not just Bristol. The United Kingdom's in crisis because you've not done enough to prevent it. You are allowing these weapons to be sold online. You're allowing them to be delivered to their house. And it's only last week, a lady in Birmingham, her son was murdered, and the evidence come that the perpetrator had been ordering knives with his mum's bank card and collecting them at the post office. That, to me, is like zombie knives and machetes are still waiting to be banned since last August. It's a no-brainer, really. You don't need them. A chef don't walk the streets with a knife. So why are we allowing these type of knives? It's a system. It's like an entrapment to me. It's really like deep.
Well, Leanne, that was a very powerful conversation there. If there was one last message that you can give to the communities that you work with about your hopes for the future and your purpose, what would that be?
Just keep supporting me, keep supporting the campaign. Let's work together. So if there is organisations that need the training, please just give me a message. Don't wait. I'm here. It's been there and it's open to everyone. So don't wait for something to happen. Let's work together and do preventative before it happens.
Well, Leanne, I'm sure I speak for all of Bristol when I say this. Thank you for the great work you are doing. We need people like you. We need your services. We need your support, and we are here to support you in return. I am Char Lawrence, joined by Leanne Reynolds, founder of Bin the Blade. You are watching the Forward Focus podcast. Thanks for watching.